listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, they call him the BOAT. Coming to you from ESPN 975. Guys, we getting ready to do this thing. I'm feeling real good. Getting ready to go into another week. NXT. Getting ready to go down. Make sure you guys check it out. Coming up tomorrow night live on USA. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. It's going to be good. I can't wait, man. I'm energized, man. I'm energized.
Did you have one of your little gimmicks?
Like I said, the thing is, I took it earlier today, and it's still working. It's still got I still got a little buzz. I woke up at 6:30 this morning. I woke up 6:30. I woke up 6:30 this morning. I had a little project. I went to go outside in the backyard and do it around the pool, and man, I you know that stuff that make the grass, make the grass not come up. You had to cover it, put it on the ground. I did that. I had to move all the rocks, get everything situated for the guys come in, put some mulch down tomorrow. And the thing is, I could have paid somebody to prep it for me, but I say, nah, man. When you can't do it yourself, that's when you really need to start thinking. I'm serious. When you got to call somebody every time to do every little thing for you, you can find yourself in a position one day not being able to do that, and you can be in a world of hurt. So for me, I always put myself in a position to know that I still can go out there and get it done. So 3 hours later, bro, I was broke down. But I got a chance to get it done before the sun come up, and I feel good and refreshed about myself. For getting that done. You should try it, Brad. You're a homeowner now. You're a homeowner. You understand what I'm talking about as far as getting out there and getting it done yourself. You got to do it.
I hear you. I had a fight with a water hose the other day. You know what I mean? They rusted on the spigot.
That's a hard one. Get the pocket hose, man. Get the pocket hose.
That's what I was trying. Well, I bought one of those.
With that pocket hose, you might be fighting with it. It definitely.
But you know what? I wanted to tell everybody here. That we have, we had something. So I was on Amazon. Let me tell it this way. I'm on Amazon. Like all these apps, they'll have suggestions for you. Hey, you bought this before. You searched this before. Maybe you'll like this, right? You know what I'm talking about. You've seen these things. And so for some reason on Amazon, I got, referred an item to buy. And when I saw the item, I said, I didn't even know this was available to purchase. So what I do? Quick, got it, overnight delivery to the front door. And I brought it with me for a little show and tell to show everybody.
The hammer?
The
hammer?
No, it's not the hammer. But it's even better than the hammer. And it's less expensive than the hammer. And it can, in some ways, if anybody else buys this, can directly benefit this show. So I want to show everybody what I'm going to add to my collection here in the house, and this is brand new.
Oh yeah,
off the press, the King Booker Funko Pop, WWE style. Now look at this. This is a great figure. It still hasn't been taken out of the box yet, but I do.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to take it out of the box. Leave it in the box.
Should I leave it in the box,
bro? You want to leave it in the box. It could be worth big money. Leaving it in the box. Take it out the box, you lose all the values. Like driving a car clock.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to take it out of the box. But one of the things that I noticed, I don't know how many pop vinyls have you ever purchased in your lifetime, Booker? Probably none. Several? Oh, you have a few.
Oh, Funkos?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't purchased any. No.
Okay. Well, this is what someone like me, this is what I do. When I get one, the first thing I look at after I see the quality of the figure, this is the King Booker one. I got this on Amazon if y'all want to go ahead and do it. But I always look on the back and I see, who do they have you grouped with? This tells a lot about where they hold somebody. If I turned this over and you were with Duke the Dumpster and Doink the Clown and the Bastion Booger, I would have been like, oh man, okay. I mean, it's cool they got it, but what do they think of Book, right? But here's who they have you with. I don't know. Do you even know who you're grouped with?
No.
Okay, here you go. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh.
That's not a bad one.
One of my idols.
Randy Orton.
No,
not a bad one.
One of my pupils.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Legend.
Okay. What about this, you young rookie upstart, Rocky Maivia?
All right, not bad,
Not bad. Also known as The Rock.
Kid had a pretty good run. Pretty good
run. And then this is what's cool. You got legends of the game right there, but there's still two others on here that they decided they want to group you in with. One of them, the Rip, Rhea Ripley.
Ripley. All right, she's coming up. She's future Hall of Fame. Future Hall of Fame.
Last one, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. That's a group book.
Hey, bro,
you're in a great group.
Well, I always just wanted to be mentioned with the greats, man. That's all I ever wanted. When I got in this business, I said, man, I just want my name to ring, with the greats, guys that came before me, the legends that's doing it now, like the Randy Ortons and the Bianca Belairs. That's the only thing I really ever hoped for. And I tell you, man, my career, it was stellar. It really was, man. It was stellar. I had such an awesome career, man. I'm talking about WCW, WWE, WWF, TNA. Speaking of TNA, I want to give Jeff Jarrett props. I want to give Jeff Jarrett big props. He was doing an interview with somebody and they was asking him a question about, Main Event Mafia, and he said Main Event Mafia was the most important faction in TNA's history. And they asked him the question, well, what about Booker T's role? And I think people try to get clickbait. They look for someone to say something where they could click it and run with it. But Jeff Jarrett, only thing he said was, man, Booker T was a huge part of Main Event Mafia. I felt like I was a huge part of it. He said some things that was really, really true as far as WWE, that time in WWE. It was a run, man. And then coming to TNA, it was like a reset for Booker T. And that's the way I really look at me being in TNA. It was like a reset. It was like, man, me trying to, totally re-gear after being on the road all that time. Took a year off and then stepped into TNA. So I just wanted to say I appreciate Jeff Jarrett for pretty much telling like it was. And the thing is, Jeff and I've always said my time in TNA, Jeff and I was always business. Even the times we bumped heads a couple of times, it was always business, and that's what business is. And I just want to thank Jeff Jarrett for always, since day one, when I worked with him in WCW, this dude has always been a businessman. Give that dude a lot of credit, man. A lot of props.
Yeah, that was on the episode of his show, My World, with Conrad Thompson on adfreeshows.com. And I'm glad that he gave you props. You know what I mean? Because he could have easily been and I'm glad that he wasn't. You know what I mean? Because then we would have to talk to Jeff. Have a conversation with him.
Jeff and I, we've always been, tight. We've always been very, very respectful of each other. And for him coming from, pretty much being born into this business, and then having, respect for a guy like myself who wasn't born into this business, but still looking at, each other as equals, in this business, as striving for the same thing. And that's, pretty much to be the best and give the fans, the ultimate show. So there again, for me, I just want to say I appreciate Jeff Jarrett for saying good words about me, because a lot of people out there, man, they want to hate. They want to hate on. A lot of haters out there, like Ryback. We gotta take a break, y'all. Stick around. You know, hey, we'll be back in a minute.
I am the Rocket, Josiah John. I'm training at Reality of Wrestling. I've wanted to be a wrestler since I was a little kid, since watching it with my dad for the first time and seeing guys like Booker T wrestle. That's what I knew. That's what I wanted to do. So I just had to take that leap, take that drive, and chase some dreams. The greatest thing about Reality of Wrestling is all the knowledge that's here. From all the trainers, Brian Davidson, Brian Key. I am the Rocket, yeah. One day, Booker T just called me Rocket.
And I got to give him a cool name, man. And Rocket is just something that stuck out with me. And I think that's something that's going to stick with him for a long time. He had Rocket on his shirt. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's definitely falling into it, man. And he's really buying into what this thing really truly is. And if he could just keep his mind on point and stay focused, he definitely could do something in this business.
I feel like I've been doing really well training here. Just coming as much as I can. Come early, work out before the actual training. We have like a whole gym for people to work out. What would I say to somebody that's on the fence about joining reality wrestling? I would just tell you to just take the leap, because everybody here is going to take care of you and help you get to where you need to be. You can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We got a lot to talk about today. I want to thank all my people hanging out in the chat and all the super chatters that's going to come through here with us today. I want to thank you guys first and foremost. We've got a big show here today for you. Want to talk about SmackDown rating came out, as well as AEW Rampage numbers came out, as well as AEW All in Wembley Stadium show. Man, over 80K, a lot there, as well as before we even get started, big news will be coming to you from Reality of Wrestling and the Hall of Fame here's real soon as well. The news about Reality of Wrestling is going to be coming to you next week. I'll give you guys a certain time, a certain place that you want to tune in to check it out. But we definitely want to let the world know exactly what we are doing with Reality of Wrestling. It's time to move up. It's time to move to the next level. It's time to take over the whole world as far as, you know, this independent wrestling. And you know what? We're not independent wrestling. We're a small television company, but we work hard. We work hard for our artists, man. So definitely, guys, stay tuned to find out what's going on with Reality of Wrestling.
I'm excited for the Reality Wrestling news. I'm super excited for people to hear and see and know what we have going on. And then the same thing with the Hall of Fame. I mean, y'all be knowing that too in about maybe 2.5, 3 weeks or so. News of that will be dropping as well. And we're going to change the landscape.
Yeah.
In all of pro wrestling entertainment. So I'm excited for that as well. Now you mentioned several numbers there, but where did you want to start today on the show? Because we can talk about anything that you just listed or any other things going on. You know what? I have something though before we begin, because I think it's something that you should throw your name in for.
What
okay? Because you're a 35-time champion, maybe even more. We don't even know. There could have been titles that you forgot about.
I lost count.
That's how many wins there are in the illustrious career of Booker T. That's why he's got a Funko Pop, right? That you can get on Amazon. And then I'm sure eventually you can get autographed ones on realitywrestling.com. I'll just throw a future plug out there, or at a local Comic-Con near you. But one of the things that would be awesome is that after 2 Hall of Fame inductions, you know, if you could add more championships to the pantheon of the name that is Booker T. And I know we talked last week about a champion, a fallen champion in WWE who had to go off and have their ACL repaired. And now they need somebody to step in to the role. And I don't know if you've seen what's been going on social media. Have you checked out Chelsea's Got Talent?
No, I haven't.
Chelsea Green, who's been on this show, friend of the show, current WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. She said, you know what? I'm not relinquishing these titles. I work too hard to get these. So while Sonya's down, what she's doing is auditioning people to be her tag team partner. And she's calling it Chelsea's Got Talent. In all seriousness, I love how she's done this with the angle. I mean, she's taken something that actually happened and turned it into a social media sensation. I mean, I've seen hundreds of videos of people trying to audition to be Chelsea Green's next tag team partner. And she's keeping her name in relevancy, if you will, in the news, on the socials, which is going to translate to television time. This is a great way to work, I think, an injury angle. I kind of wanted to get your opinion on Chelsea's Got Talent. And can we expect an audition from Booker T so you can become a 36-time champion?
No auditions coming from me. Okay, let's get that out there.
You and Chelsea, that'd be a great tag team. What would we call it? What would be that name? We'd have to come up with something good for that.
Forget about it. But no, man. One thing about social media, man, it's the greatest thing in the world, and sometimes it can be the worst thing at the same time. If you know how to use it, man, do it. Go for it. And something like this keeping your name out there, creating something almost like these TikTok memes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those things, man, once they go viral, they pick up. I mean, millions and millions of people pick up on it. She's a WWE star. I'm sure she's always thinking about her numbers. You know what I mean? That's what these young people do. They think about their numbers and getting their numbers up. And something like this, it's a great, great ploy, great plan. I don't know who came up with it, but it's definitely a great way to keep her name out there, like you said.
I think it was something she did organically, just fooling around on social, and it caught fire. It caught fire. Now, I do like some people are trying to come up with a name for the two of you. I'm really trying to get this tag team off the ground, but I think I figured out the best one. Green tea. You know what I mean? You could order it at your favorite Japanese establishment, but you could bring the heat, the green tea, hot green tea. Yeah. There we go.
I like that. I must say, that's a pretty good name. But it ain't gonna happen. Can't forget it. I'm done, guys. I'm finished. I'm done. Like I said, guy asked me today, man, can you still do the spinneroonie? I said, man, that's about a 6-hour warm-up. It used to be 4 hours. About 3. That was just 3 months ago. So we can forget them. People talk about that Raw Rumble appearance. I say, man, I just asked God just for one revolution, one spin, and just I get the hell up out of here, man. It was like, man, that was like my finish line. I couldn't wait to get there. But no, man, I have nothing left in the tank, man. Nothing left. Like I said, after working in my yard this morning for three hours, I felt like I should have been in a straitjacket. That's
well,
how bad
this heat will humble you. This Houston heat right now.
But you know what? It wasn't even that hot. I mean, the sun wasn't beating down on me. I had zero sun on me in the area that I was in. It was just, the mugginess of it, just draining. It's still draining all the energy out of me. So, no, man, I have nothing left in the tank, man. I'm not afraid to say that I have zero left in the tank, unless it's a real fight. If it's a real fight, I can go for about a good hard 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like Jason Bourne knowing how fast he can run in a mile. You know what I'm saying? At top speed. I know I can go for about 5 minutes in a fight. So that's the only thing I'm looking for, lately.
But let me ask you to go back to the Chelsea thing just for a moment. Like you were in several successful tag teams for a long period of time, in your career. I mean, you've been referred to as a tag team specialist. Was that ever a fear of yours to be going on a great run or in a great story and then an injury happened? I mean, it did happen to you in Harlem Heat, and in some ways it kind of worked out for the best. In some ways, if you look at it.
No, it didn't work out for the best. One thing I had always wanted to do was invade Japan and be able to go over there and win the IWGP Tag Team Championship. And the time that we were gonna go, my brother was hurt. Sherry was down. She couldn't make the trip. And it definitely was one of those moments to where it's like, man, it was a moment that was missed that we never got a chance to recreate and go back over there and do. We got a chance to go over and work in Japan. But we really never got a chance to go over and do that run in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that make me feel like, man, we missed out on something. That's the one time I did go to New Japan. I went by myself and I was doing jobs. Every night I'm doing jobs. Harlem, it was just heat. It wasn't Harlem Heat.
Wait, so was the plan for y'all to win the IWGP?
No.
Oh no, that was just a goal.
That was when we were actually getting ready to go and do our big run in Japan. It was for WCW. That's when they was doing the the exchange. Guys that were coming over and guys were going over. And the time that Harlem Heat was getting ready to make their big run for WCW, my brother got hurt, and Sherry Sherry didn't make the trip. Let's just say that.
Well, you know what could have been, but that's like, I guess, the risk that you run in a tag team.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that, you know, as over as you get, especially as a unit, when there's three of y'all, one goes down, the act goes south. You know, and you're kind of your devices and trying to figure it out. What I was referring to is the time that your brother went down with injury, and that's when you kind of got a little singles run in WCW.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, the TV title.
I trust me. I knew exactly what you was talking about.
Yeah.
My brother, he actually injured his foot in Disney, and I saw
Like riding a ride or something.
No. He's just stepped
Just doing the
ring.
tapings.
We're having some tapings, and
Gotcha.
and I tagged my brother, and he came in the ring. As soon as he came in, boom, he went down. He tore the muscle in the bottom of his foot, and it was like somebody shot him. Boom, he just went down.
My God.
And he was out for a while, and that's when I started doing some singles matches, and boom, pretty much the rest is history.
Tearing a muscle in the bottom of your foot
God,
sounds
man,
like the most.
I can only imagine how I felt, because I've you know, like put my foot a certain way, and I could feel that muscle actually pulling both ways, and I could only imagine if it was to pop. It's almost like an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That muscle is so vulnerable. And I tell you, man, I can only imagine how I felt, but that's when my brother went down. And boom, like I say, the rest is history, man. That boy had to go on a run. You know what I mean? He had to go on a major run, dog. And it was champagne wishes and caviar dreams from that point on for that boy. Who we talking about? That man, Booker T. Hey guys, we got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
In order to kick some ass, you gotta bring some. I wasn't born the chosen one. I became the chosen one. Through hard work, determination, and winning.
The chosen one, victorious.
You're gonna be a big star. You already are.
I'm stronger. And I'm faster than anyone they ever put me in the ring with. Being the chosen one isn't just a nickname, it's a gift. And professional wrestling is my gift. That is an absolute guaranteed. What's my name again?
Soup. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. We just chopped it up. Everything, sports and entertainment, and all there in between. That boy Charlo and Canelo coming up, and I tell you, man, I hope I was wishing that I could be in the house, but I won't be able to be there. You know what I mean?
Why not?
WWE duties. We got a pay-per-view on that same night. And I won't.
What show is that?
I don't know. I just know we got one. And I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed about it a little bit. Because I really want to see that fight, because I'm thinking just like I always do, I got a feeling about this fight and how it's gonna go down. And I'm feeling that boy Charlo is going to go out there and wreak shop. I'm feeling like Charlo is going to go out there and do something real nasty on that night. Bring the noise, H-Town bound, if you understand what I'm saying. And I tell you, man, the contingency in the house, I think they said it was only like 5% tickets left.
Dang.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a monster, man.
Boy, you know, because when the essays come out and fight, bro, the essays show up and support. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I can only imagine what that arena, T-Mobile. I think T-Mobile. I can only imagine how that place gonna be rocking, man. It's gonna be good.
Well, we're gonna have to see because we're obviously not gonna be able to be there.
But
You know what I mean?
you know what? That's what pay-per-view is. You know, you can still watch it.
You can watch it. You can't feel it.
I'm still gonna support it. So yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to that fight. Also, you know, speaking of boxing and to bring it back to wrestling a little bit, Logan Paul, the breakout star from WWE, is getting back inside the squared circle. He's fighting Dylan Dennis.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, as well as Helenius and Anthony Joshua went down last week on the zone, and Anthony Joshua went out there and got a beautiful, spectacular knockout. It wasn't as nice as Deontay. Well, it was more beautiful than Deontay Wilder's knockout because Deontay looked like he was just throwing a shot. It just landed, exploded on that boy Helena's face, and it was over with real quick. But Anthony Joshua actually got a chance to go out there and display some pugilism. So yeah. That might be the next big fight. Joshua Wilder. Oh man.
I think that's the fight to make.
Heavyweight clash in Vegas. And I'm talking about we could do Radio Row at MGM Grand and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. I'm excited about that fight right now already.
Well, I'm excited from your excitement. You know what? We've been talking about several things going on in wrestling. I do want to take one more side road, little feeder road, little exit, one second to talk about another sports story because he's always a recurring fixture on this show, if you will. For several years, we've always talked about this man in the NBA, and I just want to get your read on this. What do you think about everything that's going on with James, Beard, Harden? And have you seen everything with him and Daryl Morey and the trade request? And then the Sixers say, no, we're not going to trade him. And now he's saying, and I mean, he had an explosive quote today regarding Daryl Morey, who's the president over there of the 76ers, former GM of the Houston Rockets. If you recall, the guy who got us into all the hot water with China, with his post that he had made. This is what he said. James Harden said this. He said, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he is a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he is a part of. A lot of people are saying that Daryl, this is alleged, promised kind of an extension to James for the max. James didn't get that, so he was going to opt in and get traded. What do you think about all this, Book? Now James is refusing to show up to training camp. I'm not coming.
I mean, you know, who's going to lose more at the end of the day if he don't show up?
I think it's a lose-lose. If you want my personal opinion,
it's a lose-lose. But James Harden won. I mean, come on, the team ain't. As far as losing money,
well, he's gonna lose some money.
I mean, the team. You think they're gonna lose some money?
Not as much.
Well, my thing is, I mean, he could be putting himself in position, you know, for breach of contract. You never know what could end up happening with a situation like this. And James Harden, you know, pretty much, in my opinion, put himself in this situation because of his play, his on court play. I mean, this guy, he cannot deliver. And no matter if I told you, Brad, look here, bro, at the end of the year, you getting bonuses. You getting bonuses. And then for the next 6 months, all you do is strike out. What do you think is going to happen at the end of the year, Brad?
I think you might not give me the bonus.
You might not get the bonus and you might get fired.
But what he's saying is I didn't get the bonus, so I went out.
Look,
trade me.
Well, look here. One thing about business. If he said he lied, okay. If he lied, it's on paper somewhere where he can pull up a paper trail and say, "Hey, this is what you said," right? I just did a deal a little while ago, okay, and I needed to make sure I get something done. So I made sure when I talked about it, it was people around that could verify exactly what was said. Okay, no dispute. Understand what I'm saying? Can't go back and say, no, well, I didn't say that because you said it in front of the man. You can't get so if James Harden got that kind of proof where he can pull up and say, "No, this is what I'm supposed to be getting," and you didn't, you didn't do it. I want out. Now we got a situation. But if I told you something behind closed doors and it didn't come to fruition, that's just the way it is. I mean, and the thing is, you see that, don't you?
No, I don't disagree with you. But to me, when I say it's a lose-lose, okay, so now you have a superstar who doesn't want to be there.
Well,
and
a guy that
a star
used to be a superstar
out of his prime, on the tail end of it or on the decline, however you want to look at it. But he doesn't want to be there. You're paying somebody a lot of money, and even if you don't pay him, it looks like on paper to the league that, well, you've promised this man this certain amount of money, so you can't use that money for anything else.
I mean,
so it's just a lose-lose. So that's why don't you just deal him? Deal him.
Me personally,
you're not going to get value out of him.
Look, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, all right, of James Harden, and I've been telling you this for a long time.
Years.
I've been telling you this guy was a problem for a long time. And the thing is, was I right?
Well, be specific with the question. Were you right about what?
James Harden.
In what regard?
Every way possible.
Not the best teammate. That's obvious.
Just answer the question, man. Don't be, one of these.
I'm saying yes, he's not the best teammate.
But no. Was I right?
About what?
Everything that we've talked about is for James Harden.
Senator, I do not remember what you said on the record.
Come on, man. Don't try to.
I yield the rest of my time. I yield my time.
Don't do none of that. You know what I mean? Was I right about everything? Everything. Not just parts of it. Was I right about everything I ever said about James Harden? And the thing is, I'm not going to hold it against you. You know what I mean? You can speak the truth here, Senator. You know what I mean? You can Congressman or whatever you want to call yourself. I would like to
yield the rest of my time to the gentleman from Texas, the speaker. No, look. Obviously, Harden hasn't panned out to be what we all wish that he was when he was here in Houston.
Man. Come on.
What do you want me to say?
Don't beat around.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
Like it is, man. Don't tell it. Don't just make up a story and try to make it sound good about the guy. Just say what you really feel about James Harden for once. Just do it.
Well, I don't know what I feel.
It'll make you feel better.
Well, I will say that this is definitely a lose-lose situation for the 76ers and for James Harden. But you know what? Here's the thing I don't like about James is it just seems like if the season doesn't pan out the way that he wants, he immediately says, I want to go somewhere else. He had the run with CP3. Actually, he had the run with Dwight Howard. They lose to the Warriors. He says, I want Dwight out here. Dwight goes. We get CP3. Hey, man, we're going to go all the way with this. When we get to the Western Conference Finals, CP, you're not working out. Your hammy can't hold it up. So what do I get? I want Russell, right? Russell Westbrook comes in for a season. We barely make it out of the first round.
But didn't it start with him and Russell?
Well, they started on OKC.
That's what I'm saying. It started
with him, Russell, and Kevin.
Exactly. So
but he got traded. So I can't give him to that.
Yeah, but still, he wasn't a great teammate even there.
He was a great six man. And then he gets out of Houston, goes to Brooklyn to play with KD and Kyrie. Hey, man, this ain't working out. I need a trade now, pronto. They send him to the 76ers. Hey, it doesn't work out with Embiid. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that there hasn't been someone, I think, who's played with more top-level future Hall of Fame, championship caliber players and come up short, probably in the history of the league, than James Harden.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've expressed the reasons why, and all of them were valid reasons, Brad. All of them was valid reasons. As far as this guy he's definitely not a leader, and he definitely don't know how to follow at the same time. He's a problem.
He's a problem, man. He's a problem. But you know what? We got more to talk about, and we don't have any more time in this segment.
Hey, man, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just chopping it up, talking about everything sports and entertainment. Just got through talking about James Harden, somebody I really don't care about. Somebody that really should not be making his way inside the Hall of Fame. If you know what I'm saying. No. Is James Harden the Hall of Famer? Of course he is.
Yeah, he's.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to even sit here and fix my mouth to say something like that, because his stats definitely over the years has definitely showed that he's a great player. He's a self-centered player. He's a guy that, for me, I remember somebody talking about who was it? Joker padding his stats. You know, if anybody has padded their stats throughout their basketball career, it's James Harden.
Now that you could look at that you could definitely look at and make a case for. But let me ask you this. Let me bring it back to wrestling and how you would do it, because you're a boss. You run the ship over there at the Reality of Wrestling. If somebody came to, okay, let's use your same scenario. You had a performer who said, man, you'd been doing really good. After we get through this big show in the summer, I'm gonna give you a big bonus. And then from that time on, before the big summer show, they turn in, weak performances, right? And so you say, you know what, I can't give this guy a bonus, because then that'd be me rewarding bad behavior and poor match quality. And then that person goes out and says, comes to you and say, hey, Book, I want you to release me from my contract. I want to go work down the street. And then you say, well, you know what, I want to keep you though, because you still got something. And then that wrestler goes out and says, well, you know what, Booker T's a liar. He said he was going to pay me. He never paid me. I want it out of my contract. He wouldn't let it happen. How would you then react to that, being the president of Reality Wrestling? How do you navigate that situation?
It's a lot of scenarios that, Brad. And the thing is, am I one of these billionaires?
No, you're you.
But not in Reality Wrestling. You're talking about me running one of the basketball.
Okay, I mean, you could. I was trying to put in Reality Wrestling terms, but yeah, say you're running the Rockets.
I'm one of these billionaires, right? I like the sound of that. First of all, no. My thing is, I would ice his ass. I let him sit. I pay him his money, and then if it was a loophole in there where I could sue him, I'd do that too. So I'll be looking for all kind of ways to make James Harden life miserable. That's what I will be doing.
Ice him. Don't let him play.
Don't let him play. Sue him. Make his life miserable. And and sooner or later he'll wise up. It's a lot easier to go play basketball.
But it does suck, and I'm sure you've had this at some point in your career where maybe you're going through a hard time with the company, whatever company that was, and you just don't like showing up for work. It's hard to show up for work when you don't like it, right? And it's hard to motivate yourself to perform athletically, I'm sure.
I've been in that position. I've been in that position before, and I mean, but if you're a professional, you come do the work until your contract is up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. I left WWE, and I felt like it was time for me to move on, but I worked all the way up until a certain date. I was very, very professional about it. And then when I worked that final date, boom, I split. I went my way. But the one thing that you made the point. You said every team, this guy, every time at the end of the season, things not going right, he want to jump up and run. You know what I mean? He want to run and do something else. And that's just not the way you do business. You know, in this game, that's just not the way you do it.
I agree with that. I mean, I think that James could definitely be conducting his business a little bit better. And here's the thing, sticking with it, right? Because I know I'm trying to think of a good comparison here. Somebody like Hakeem. Hakeem didn't always have the team around him, right? Michael Jordan didn't always have the team around him, but they stayed, they got better, they improved their skills as an individual and as a teammate. They drafted well. They had influence on the office. Trust me, every superstar has influence on the office.
Well,
and they built a team that could win a championship.
One thing that you could say about both of those guys that you can't say about James Harden is that they were leaders.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, they were leaders. There wasn't guys that were looking to make excuses why they lost. They wanted to make themselves better so they can go out there and win. And they won.
They did.
And that's why, Michael Jordan is sitting at the top of the mountain looking down. Hard, man, hard worker. You know what I mean? And drove them boys to work just as hard. So you don't see any documentaries about James Harden, in the future. I don't think so.
Let me ask you this. Is he showing up, if he does show up to camp, or if he's showing up to sit on the sidelines, how overweight is he? Like, is he up 50?
Trill Burger.
30?
Trill Burger. Overweight.
Trill Burger fat. Did you see that video of him in the Trill Burger?
Say
is
what?
That why you said that? Did you see the video of him ordering the Trill Burgers?
Oh, but I'm telling you
right now.
He had about
7 of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's his problem. You know what I mean? So.
He had about 7 Trill Burgers. I'm still trying to get a Trill Burger. Bun.
I'm gonna run over there and get me one.
Come on, Bun. You got to come through, man. You got to hook the Hall of Fame up. We should do a live. Is Booker answering a phone call? We should do a live Hall of Fame inside of Trill Burgers. Like that would be dope. You got Booker T, Brad Gilmore, ESPN 975 at Trill Burgers. That's how we should do it. You know what I mean? Book's on a real live phone call right now.
Take care of business. I'm multitasking, man.
Somebody's gonna go read your lips. You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, I know what he's talking about.
Man had to check out some stuff. And I told you I did some work earlier.
Let me ask you though, what do you think of that? Should the Hall of Fame, should we do a live remote from Trill Burgers? Have Bun on the show?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I'd love to do something like that.
Have Bun be in the house inside the Hall of Fame.
You know what? I'd love to do something like that with Bun B, someone who's always been one to represent this city, man, and they do it diligently. So, hey, man, to be able to rub elbows with, one of Houston's finest. Oh, yes. Let's get that done, man.
Let's get it done. Well, hey, Bun, we're putting out the info. We'll the invite. We'll be in touch. I wanted to also show you, speaking of the Trill Burger, since we were talking about them here, this is the scene from the James Harden Trill Burger fiasco. Do you see all those burgers he ordered?
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at it.
I can count 7 that I can see. I can see 7 of them.
You know what? I ain't gonna even say what I really want to say about that picture. But yeah. I mean, the brother, yeah.
Well, you know what?
James.
Shout out to James, man. Shout out to James. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We do have super chats to get to. There were some numbers that I know that you mentioned too that you wanted to talk about. What do you think of that 80K, man, for AEW? What a show.
Mark Henry said there's no WWE AEW war. I don't know what this dude been smoking. Okay. It's a war. It's a war. If it wasn't a war, every time, something, a big number go down, they wouldn't be comparing it to WWE. and I get 80 plus, 80,000 plus, that's a lot, man. Wembley Stadium, that's a big show. And the thing is, that's great for AEW. It really is. It's really great for AEW. And the thing is, how long they been promoting this thing now?
Couple months.
I mean, they've had time to sell 80,000 tickets, as well. You know what I mean? So it's great for them. And the thing is, that is, somewhat of a war, because that be touchy about being called second tier just last week.
Secondary.
Secondary. Yes. One would think that it's a war, And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with it being a war. One thing Mark Henry said also, that it's not a war. The fans are winning. In a war, the fans do win, because guys got to go out there, man. They got to run fast. You can't run at that normal pace that you had been running before, when you were just on the track practicing. Now you in competition. When you in competition, man, you gotta pick up speed, and that's what everybody's doing. So for me, being in a war is not a bad thing. The SmackDown rating came out this week. I know we got only a minute before we have to take a break. SmackDown rating came out this week, and it was down from last week. This week they drew 2,097,000, and then Rampage numbers came out also on the same night. Am I correct?
Yeah, they're on the same night.
Yeah, and they did 3,900.
Huh? 3,900. 39,000.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 3,900. Well, 39,000. No, 398,000.
I was about to say, wait, hold on now.
Yeah, 398,000.
That would have been like, break the glass at the station. 3,900 people are watching the show.
No, 398,000. Which, it's not like
if they had 3,900 people watching the show, they'd be canceled quicker than Kanye West.
Well, it's Rampage. It's Rampage. And the thing is, I'm thinking that those numbers should be a lot higher. That's what I'm thinking more than anything. But 398,000 on the same night at SmackDown.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah, same night.
That's not that great of a number.
No, it's not.
It's not that great of a number. And seem like, one should be perhaps concerned if there's a war. If there's not a war, it's no problem. But me personally, I do think it's a war. And the war, it's not going to happen overseas. It's going to happen right here in the States. Let's talk about those numbers when we come back. And I want to know what you think about that 3,900. I need that 398,000. And we'll talk about that when we get back. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Nathan Wasser, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I came down here to Reality of Wrestling to improve my training and get myself more experience learning from the absolute best. It's intense. It's hard. You got to leave your ego at the door and come in with an open mind. The way they do stuff here is the next level. But if you do that, you'll end up bettering yourself in the end, and you'll improve, and you'll be able to work anywhere.
Nathan, he's an unbelievably awesome student. I'll tell you why, right? For a few reasons. Number one, the man packed up all the way from the Great White North to move down here to the U.S. to train, because he wanted to learn from one of the best. But what's even more impressive, on top of the fact that he takes care of his body, he works hard, is the fact that he was trained by a very reputable trainer, and yet still comes down here humble, hungry, ready to work and ready to learn, and not coming in here acting like he knows everything or that he's too rigid in his ways.
Booker's knowledge will help you get to whatever goals you want to do if you want to be a big star in this industry. My end goal is to be in WWE. Coming down here to Reality of Wrestling, I feel is the best opportunity for me to get there. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can promise you, when you come to reality of wrestling, it will change your life. You will not regret it.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Just talking about these numbers, man. These numbers, and Brad, you got to give me a feeling, your thoughts on the AEW numbers that just came out, which is 398,000, as well as SmackDown just came out, which was 2,097,000. And I tell you, SmackDown ratings down as well. So 2 million views is good, but trust me, we want more. I'm sure we want more, especially after coming off those numbers that the guys were pulling back in the day, which were great numbers, and of course we can't compare today to yesterday, but 2, 5, and 3 sounds a whole lot better than 2. It just does, and I'm sure AEW Rampage would love to get their number. AEW Rampage numbers are lower than NXT right now.
Yeah, I mean,
substantially.
Yeah, by 50% or more.
Yeah,
and I think with Rampage, it has become a forgotten show, and I think everybody would say that it's a tape show that runs after SmackDown. We're talking about 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, on a Friday night.
What is Collision doing?
You know what Collision, I think is they're holding. I don't think that ratings wise they're setting the world on fire. But if you listen to most people who are AEW faithfuls, they say Collision's the best show that AEW does.
Oh, really?
As far as content wise, yeah. As far as content wise, everyone's really liking AEW Collision.
Wait a minute, content as far as
the show itself,
matches or stories.
I think both, probably both. Now the August.
What's the stories that's going on Collision that you know of?
That I know of? Well, a lot of people are excited with the CM Punk Samoa Joe angle.
Outside of that one,
well, then there's Ricky Starks and the Ricky Steamboat and Punk that was going down as well. That was a big night for them as well. Steamboat got hit by Ricky Starks. It was Ricky on Ricky violence, which shouldn't even really be allowed in any of the 50 United States. But aside from that, I know that people report back that Collision's their favorite. Now, if you want to look at Collision viewership, since its debut, Collision had a huge debut at 816,000 viewers. It went down the following week. This is the June 24th show, to 595,000, so 250,000 plus drop. Then from there went to 452,000, so about 133,000 drop. From there back up to 580. Then the next week it was 580 again. Went up a little bit to 618 on the July 22nd edition. The July 29th edition, the highest since its debut at 739,000. Now last Saturday's, which I believe was SummerSlam Saturday, it was 417,000 viewers, but obviously SummerSlam had a lot to do with that.
Wow.
So I'd say it's a more of a comparable to NXT ratings wise, right? I mean, NXT's still doing better, I'd say, on the whole, week to week. But I think that's probably the better one-to-one comparison than to Rampage.
I don't know. Do you agree with Mark Henry?
That there's not a war?
Yeah.
There's undoubtedly a war.
Okay. So you agree with me?
Yes, I do. Because whenever you have two entities that are going after the same audience, who are putting on the same product, for better or for worse, there are obvious differences between AEW and WWE. However, it's at the end of the day a professional wrestling / sports entertainment show. We're going after the same people, and there's only so many dollars one has to spend. So do I want to buy the CM Punk t-shirt, or do I want to buy the LA Knight t-shirt? Yeah, that's the question. And when it comes down to it, Mark Henry, I see what he's saying. The fans are winning. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. There's more wrestling. And if you're a wrestling fan, that's great news for you. And you get to see guys who you don't normally get to see. But I think that there's undoubtedly a war going on. And if there wasn't, again, like you said, there wouldn't be offense taken to secondary promotion. And also there wouldn't even be statements like secondary promotion thrown out. I think it goes both ways on that. So, I mean, remember when Triple H called it a pissant company? Do you remember that at the Hall of Fame? He said it to Billy Gunn's face.
That was a joke. That was a joke, though.
But he said it. But come on, he felt that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he felt that.
Said it jokingly.
He said it jokingly, but he felt that one. You know what I mean? So there's a war going on between the companies. That's for sure. Now, if you listen to certain things, there's wars going on in the companies as well.
Okay.
Not just between them, but in them. A lot of people made hay about the whole stuff with CM Punk and Hangman Page, but now since this afternoon, another story broke regarding a real life confrontation of CM Punk and Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth, of course, the brother of WWE star Dolph Ziggler.
Is he in AEW?
He is an AEW guy.
Okay.
He's there. I don't know if he's under contract, but he's a regular on the shows. I know they've used him a lot over the years. And apparently he had a tweet that went out, or an X, or however you call it.
X. It's an X.
After CM Punk called the Young Bucks on the debut of Collision counterfeit Bucks, if you remember that. Nick Nemeth put out on Twitter that CM Punk was literally the softest man alive. And, he's a favorite on being the elite. But at Dynamite, PW Torch, which is Mike Johnson, indicated that CM Punk confronted Nemeth in the locker room. And they had a verbal altercation. And then Nick Nemeth allegedly was one of the people not allowed in the building at Collision this past weekend.
Yeah.
Which also they say, I know that a lot of people are smelling a work, but they say that Adam Page, who was asked to come to the building, was not allowed inside the Collision building on Saturday. And then CM Punk had some post-show comments for Hangman Adam Page, saying that he's a hangman, all right. I'm paraphrasing. All of his action figures are still hanging in the aisles at your local toy store because no one wants to buy them. Boom, got him.
Well, that's true.
Why are you hating on the Hangman? Huh? Why are you hating on the Hangman?
Nah, man, I don't know, man. Maybe these guys come do something. My thing is, I don't know. I'm not going to even sit here and speculate on the inner workings of AEW and, if these guys are trying to book an angle or anything like that, because maybe they are. Maybe they are trying to book an angle. And if they are trying to book an angle, I don't want to be like a lot of these shows and delve deep into what they are trying to do. And if they do this, man, this might work with that. That ain't the type of guy I am. I let Disco and, those guys do the show reviews and whatnot. So if it is an angle, just like I tell people about WWE's angles and stuff that's going on, I say, I'm going to just sit back and watch and see how this thing play out. If it's not an angle, we'll know how it play out, within the next 6 months to a year. Easily, I think. You know what I mean? Because, turmoil, when it show up, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows. So we'll find out if it's real or if it's work. Just sit back and watch the show and enjoy.
Well, can I at least read the quote
Go
that
right
CM
ahead.
Punk had?
Yeah, definitely.
This is what CM Punk said after Collision went off the air. So this was to the live house. This was a dark segment, if you will. He said, Carolina is hangman country. And he referenced a sign in the crowd. He said, earlier today, I went to a local supermarket and I figured out why they call him Hangman. It's because the pegs in the toy aisle are full of Hangman action figures because nobody wants to buy them. He's a peg warmer, unlike me, who moves merchandise, pops ratings, and sells toys.
Well, you know what, man? I'm going to tell you right now, that's a shoot promo, okay?
That is a shoot.
And if those guys are working in the same company and the turmoil is there, and if they're not using it, why is it there? So maybe, like I say, I don't want to delve too far into if this is a work or not. But, cutting a promo off the air these days is almost just like cutting a promo on the air because you just got the quote.
Yeah, someone's recording it and it's got to be on YouTube.
Exactly my point. Exactly. So that's a good ploy, and it might be a good way to make people think that this thing is a lot more. So I don't want to get too deep into it.
Let me say this, though. This is what I'll say. If this does turn out to be part of an angle, sometimes using real life animosity to make a compelling storyline is what wrestling's always been built on. The one that comes to my mind is when, and I'm not trying to bring up old dirt, but like when Edge and Matt Hardy had their personal problems, their very legitimate personal problems with one another.
Yeah.
They said, some crazy Irishman said, let's put it on TV,
Yeah.
and it became a very hot angle.
Bro, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I hope the people out there that's listening to TV land, they go, man, Book, man, he's the one, man. He knows exactly what he's a monster, man. He's a monster, baby. I'm going to Galveston this week, man. I need to unplug. I just want to get to that. We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in it. I don't know. We'll be back in a minute.
I am the Rocket, Josiah John. I'm training at Reality of Wrestling. I've wanted to be a wrestler since I was a little kid, since watching it with my dad for the first time and seeing guys like Booker T wrestle. That's when I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I just had to take that leap, take that drive, and chase some dream. The greatest thing about Reality of Wrestling is all the knowledge that's here. From all the trainers, Ryan Davison, Brian Key. I am the Rocket, yeah. One day, Booker T just called me Rocket.
Man, I got to give him a cool name, man. And Rocket is just something that stuck out with me. And I think that's something that's going to stick with him for a long time. He had Rocket on his shirt. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's definitely falling into it, man. And he's really buying into what this thing really, truly is. And if he could just keep his mind on point and stay focused, he definitely could do something in this business.
I feel like I've been doing really well training here. Just coming as much as I can. Come early to work out before the actual training. We have like a whole gym for people to work out. What would I say to somebody that's on the fence about joining Reality Wrestling? I would just tell you to just take the loop. Because everybody here is going to take care of you and help you get to where you need to be. You can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Told y'all we'd be back in a minute, just chopping it up, talking everything sports and entertainment. It's a war, man. It's a war. And I am going to Galveston this week. So if my people down there at Delanera, if they can hear me, make sure y'all set me up with one of those sites right there on the seaside, checking out the beach action. I want to watch the sun go down, man. I want to watch the moon all night long, man. Smoking on a stogie, dog. You know what I mean? A little backwood. So yeah, that's my weekend. Unplug for the weekend.
Well, I'll let me say this to you, because we were talking in the last segment about CM Punk, Hangman Adam Page. Some things were thrown out there. And some real life, potentially, we don't know, but some real life could be brought into perhaps a story that's going to unfold. Well, the time will tell on that. But this is what I wanted to ask you. Is there ever anything that's off limits in a promo? And did you ever have to clear anything with anybody? Did you have to say, like, say in those promo battles you had The Rock, did Rock come up to you and be like, hey, Book, I'm going to talk about your dreads tonight? And you're like, yeah, I'm going to talk about your haircut too. Or, I mean, was any of that ever said?
No.
So is there anything ever off limits?
Anything goes, in a promo, like for me, like family. I'm not gonna bring the family into play or anything like that. That's just me. But as far as like the stuff that CM Punk is doing with Hangman Page, yeah, it's a rub, for Hangman Page, because Hangman Page is not as big of a star as CM Punk. CM Punk saying something about Hangman Page, might spark an interest and people wanting to see something, so I don't know. I look at it in several different ways. You know what I mean? I really do.
So do you remember, because one of our chatters brought this up, and I'll highlight his comment or their comment here in a moment. But do you remember when Rock and Cena were in their their promo battles for the year build to WrestleMania 28 or whatever it was. And The Rock would show up every so often, and he and John Cena would go at it. Do you recall the one time, this is what Michael was bringing up, when Cena called out The Rock during the middle of the promo because The Rock had notes for his promo written on his arm? Do you remember this?
No, but I do remember John Cena roasting him several times.
Well, he called out the fact that Rock had notes for the promo on his arm, and then apparently Rock didn't take too kindly to that.
It was true.
It was true though. Yeah, it was true. He had him on his arm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's fair game, right? Like, you can call that out.
Yes.
Especially if you're going at each other like that.
Yes.
Oh man.
Like I say, Cena roasted The Rock when it came to, the battle. I mean, because Cena was just that good. He was just that good, and he didn't have to write it. He was the lyricist. That dude's unbelievable. Seriously, I saw him on, BET. I was on BET with him, 106 in Park. And this son of a gun did a freestyle, literally in front of everybody. And I was like, he was the blackest dude in the room. I'm serious. By the end of the day, man, I was like, wow. So impressive. I was like, wow.
Can we throw back to that promo just to hear? I don't remember this, what you're talking about. There's a 2-minute clip that says John Cena roasts The Rock. Can we look at it?
Check it out.
Is that fine? Okay, let's go to this. John Cena owns The Rock is what they say.
Hey man,
Damn.
Hey man, don't get in the ring if you don't want to get hit.
Damn.
That's the way it is. Nah, the dude's always good, man. The thing is, he probably had him on his wrist right there too. That's what's crazy.
He had his promo on the wrist. I read about that in Brian Gawart's book.
Hey man, I used to cheat sometime, and I put a word right on the hand right here just to make sure I remember to hit it properly. I get it.
You did notes on your hand before?
I did. For certain promos, I would write like certain notes, like on my hand or like on my finger. Yeah.
So that was something that people did.
Yeah. It's not something that it's like screwing up a spot in the match. Everybody does it.
Right. Yeah. Oh wow. But when he said "nice tattoo," it's like Rock stopped in his tracks.
It's like when I first got in NXT, I used to have to draw, certain guys just so I know they are. Put their name by the drawing because I didn't know anybody's name. So I was like, what the hell am I going to do here? So I draw a little stick figure, you know what I mean? Put some hair on it, you know what I mean? So
do you have these drawings still?
Yes.
Oh my God. I would love to see those. Can you take a picture of those tomorrow and show them to us?
Yeah, I'll show you.
We got to post that.
I'll show you the diet.
Oh no.
Oh man, well, yeah, man. I had to figure it out when I first started, man. I didn't know what the talent was.
And and you've seen promos from, I'm talking about all generations of wrestling where somebody goes out there and they just mess it up, and it's live. So you got the weight of the world watching.
I've told, the story about me coming out on Monday Night Raw, getting ready to do a promo live on television, and I just went blank, and I was like, just bear with me here, I got it. I got this. Finally the promo came back. And I remember one time, it was so funny, man. It was so funny. Charmel and I, Teddy Long will testify to this. He'll put his right hand to God and tell you this story is 100% the truth. We had a promo in the ring, Teddy Long, myself, Charmel, King Booker, and Queen Charmel. And Teddy was supposed to deliver certain lines in a certain place. And he got to that point and he just went blank. Okay, totally forgot everything. And Charmel just started barking his lines off to him in the ring. And the promo went on. Nobody knew we messed up at all. And Teddy was so happy that Charmel covered his behind because I wasn't going to cover him. But stuff like that happens all the time, man. It's one of the funniest things that ever happened in the ring was Teddy Long forgot his lines and Charmel just picked up his lines for him and just covered him. 100%.
I gotta find that. What'd she do it like? So what you're saying, Teddy?
Yeah. She just totally went into the act. I mean, Charmelle's good. Her memory is like, freaking an elephant. You know what I mean? She can remember anything. I mean, just like her speech at the Hall of Fame, it was flawless. And for her to be able to go out there and remember that stuff, it was like, wow, I totally was mesmerized. And for her, that promo with Teddy Long, man, she totally. If Teddy hear this story, he's definitely better be talking about it because she covered his ass that night and made Teddy look, flawless. Yeah, that's what the game's all about.
You got to know when to do it, man. You got to know when to do it. Well, we do have a bunch of super chatters that I know we got to get to.
Let's take a break so we can get back and take care of the super chatters. Hey, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
To the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back to the Hall of Fame. What are you laughing at, man?
I went to go try to find the promo of Teddy Long, and I couldn't find it. But I think I just found the greatest clip in professional wrestling history from Teddy Long. I gotta show it.
I know which one. I bet you I know which one you're talking about. When he was supposed to be trying to say a certain word.
No, the weekly episodic TV show. No, not that one.
Not that one.
This is even better. This is him on an episode of SmackDown talking to Bischoff, but you gotta watch this.
Gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. Remove this cracker from my
Oh my God. Daddy was good. Oh my God. I loved it when you wasn't getting counseled about stuff, You could pretty much say what you want to say, and it was just all in fun, So
Why'd he hit the pose after too?
It's something he'd been wanting to say his whole life. That's why. That's exactly why. I understand exactly why he did it. He's like, man, I've been wanting to say this my whole life, and he hit him. So. Oh my God.
Oh, that's the greatest clip in the history of professional wrestling. I'm not gonna lie.
This crack.
From my show.
Oh my God, man, that was good.
Ooh, okay. Well, we got to get to our super chatters today. This is from Breland. It says, who gave you the hardest chop?
Haku, without a question. I tell you, Ming, that dude always described it as the sand palm, where we hit you in your chest, but you would still feel it in your back, and then you would get a handprint, that would come up later on your back from getting hit in the chest. That's the way, that's how hard Haku would hit. And I remember being in tag matches with him and Barbarian, and I would always try my best to be in the ring with Barbarian, throughout the whole match. I swear, even though Ming was the nicest guy in the world, man, but he hit you with that chop and it felt like a brick. That's how hard his hands was.
Oh, man. Haku. You hear a lot of great stories about Haku. This is the next one.
Super chat.
I was at the wrong one there. This is from Kai Toenail. There we go. He says, Jimmy excuse was bland for what he did to Jay. Sounds like they couldn't think of anything better. They said their dream match is going against each other at WrestleMania, but the road to WrestleMania could have started better. Yeah, Jimmy turned on Jay at SummerSlam. We all talked about that. Now it looks like they're going to build an angle between the two of them, brother versus brother, something I think that you've done in your career before. You had to have at some point. What do you feel about the Usos' civil war between one another?
I don't know. Did you see the promo?
I saw the promo.
What did you think about the promo?
I don't think I agree with Callie all the way. I didn't find it to be bland.
That's what I was just thinking too.
I found it to be pretty passionate.
Well, I wanted to see what you thought about it because I don't want to, people to, a lot of people always say, well, not a lot of people, but you got your certain people out there that say, Booker, he's just a company guy. And he just go with whatever, that's going on. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. If it's something that I don't like, I pretty much say it immediately. But with this angle right here, and these guys being twins, and if Jay was to become the head of the table, it definitely would put a grift between, Jimmy and Jay. And I feel like, man, you bigger than me now. I can feel like I'm losing you. Maybe the acting didn't come across as good as, Callie perhaps wanted, but I thought the direction was spot on. Yeah. And the reason I thought it was spot on, you bought the part where Jay said, Jimmy, wait, and then told him to come back, and then boom, hit him. If you didn't feel that, I get it, but I thought the direction was spot on. I could be wrong.
No, I agree. I think that I know a lot of people, they had the same criticism of, Brock and Cody, of like, what is Brock's motivation to, work Cody Rhodes and to get into this program? And sometimes, man, you gotta let the story be told in the match. It's not always about, what's said on the mic. Sometimes it's all said in the match. Now, I thought that Jimmy's promo, I thought the whole angle was good. Maybe you could critique it. The Bloodline's done so much good stuff, so perhaps you're comparing it to previous things that you love from the Bloodline.
Like I say, maybe you can critique Jimmy's acting. Okay, because me, I'm a actor at heart. It's about the Shakespeare. It's about the Romeo and Juliet. Because just think for 1 second, if Jimmy could have created a real tear to come out of his eye within that promo. Good God, man. See, that's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, I think the acting has to, which you can fault one for that, and I can see why one may feel a certain way about when they watched it. Yeah, I can get that.
I think that with all of this stuff, if you could have had a tier, that would make it great.
One tier would have made it real.
I would love to see the tier.
What I mean?
I want to see the tier in the match.
Quivering of the lip.
The lip quiver was
biting the bottom lip at the same time. That's acting 101 right there. That's look here, man. That's going to the Denzel School of Arts. You know what I mean? I'm serious.
Listen here, Denzel. We got more super chats. We got a little amount of time. All right.
You don't mess with my super. When you do that right there. Yeah.
The Dork Knight says Booker T needs to be a 3-time WWE Hall of Famer for being the best King of the Ring of all time. All hail King Booker.
I appreciate that, man. I'm working on my 3rd ring, but it's going to be for trainer extraordinaire, trainer of the stars. Before it's over with, they're going to have to give me a ring for all the guys that I've produced in this business that's gone on to be great. That's my next legacy. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
This comes in from Mike Edwards. Anthony Joshua with that amazing knockout last Saturday night. Do you guys record moments or do you just live in the moment in boxing or wrestling events? Oh, yeah. I'm not really much of a phone guy when the fight's happening.
Nah, me either, man. I just live in the moment because I'm just waiting for the next moment. I want to have that same feeling the next time, I'm in the moment. You know what I mean? I don't relive the past a whole lot. I'm not one of those type of guys. That's why I'm living my best life right now. One would say, man, don't you miss, those days, man? I really don't. I'm serious, man. I don't miss it at all. But right now, man, like I said, being at the fights, being inside the Hall of Fame is a beautiful team.
It's a beautiful team.
Beautiful team.
This comes in from Scott Bott.
Super.
Who's a member, by the way, of the channel. We appreciate you, Scott. I wouldn't want him anywhere near the team. He's a cancer. I'm with Booker. Pay him and let him stay home. Save the drama for his mama.
Hey, man, pay him, let him sit at home and like I say, make his life miserable, man. I mean, I'm not, and the thing is, I'm not a hater. I'm thinking about performances and performances alone. And what he did here in Houston spoke volume, because Houston should have got a championship when James Harden was here. But his lack of enthusiasm, his lack of intensity, his lack of being a leader, his lack of, everything, you know what I mean? His want for one to make his beard stand out more than anything else. Just rub me the wrong way, man. Shave that damn beard, he might start winning some championships.
Be a little more aerodynamic. We have another one here. Big Breezo. Jeff Jarrett slapped Moolah in the head with that guitar and put Mae Young in the figure 4. He was so crazy.
No, Jeff was a player, man. He was a real deal. Like I say, that's one dude, man, I got the utmost respect for Jeff Jarrett. Now, and I can't say that for everybody in this business, but Jeff Jarrett is definitely one of those guys high on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually a big fan of Jeff Jarrett, just even as a worker, because that man works, like in the ring, out of the ring. But in the ring, like I said, even though I heard Flair say that Flair fell asleep during his last match in Nashville, Jeff made whatever. If you could say anything good about the match, it was Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett made that thing.
Jeff can still go, bro. He can still go. Like I say, number of respect for Jeff Jarrett.
And I believe those are all of our super chats here for today's show. So there's really nothing else to say to anybody except for,
gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. Remove this cracker from my show.
We gotta find that one with Charmel, man. We gotta find that one with King Booker and Charmel and Teddy Long for getting that promo. Charmel will know exactly which one I'm talking about.
I'll have to get it from the Queen.
But yeah, man, what a show! What a show! Awesome time. Like I say, next week, guys, got some amazing news coming to you from Reality of Wrestling. And like Brad said, in a couple of weeks, we got some amazing news coming to you about this show right here. Stepping inside the Hall of Fame. When you get your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. As I always want to thank you guys for hanging out with us, like you always do. Brad for always doing all the heavy lifting, and same place, same time in a couple, man. But right now, peace. We love you, and we out.